to get started right now. Welcome everybody to our BNI Talks webinar. Today, always get a yes when asking for referrals. This one is proving to be very popular with our registrants. Our guests are the famous Tom Fleming and Tiffanie Kellog, back for another webinar with us. Really happy to have you. And I'm just going to turn it over to Tom and have you get started.
Well, thank you, Steve. We are excited to be here for this topic. Always get a yes when asking for referrals. I may know a few of you. For those of you who I don't know, I've been a BNI member since 1996. I started as a member in the Boston area, where Steve Tenuzo hails from. And in 2003, I moved down to the Tampa, Florida area to be the executive director down here. And our philosophy down here was the power of 40 members in your chapter. Why is that important? We used to talk a lot about what's called the double triple effect. When you double the size of the chapter, you triple the amount of referrals that you receive. So we're talking about maximizing your member value as you look towards finishing the year strong. Also, since 1996, obviously, I've been teaching referral-based marketing skills. I've done a lot of that through the years, a lot of coaching of business folks. And this is just one aspect of something we teach with respect to referral-based marketing. We're going to have two parts to this conversation: how to ask for referrals and who to ask for referrals. Now, why how to ask for referrals is so important is most people use the wrong verbiage to ask for referrals, and they consistently get a Tiffany? No. She's on mute. Okay. Sorry, I surprised her. My bad.
No, it's all right.
Okay, cool. So moving to the next slide here. You're welcome to introduce yourself in the chat, but we are going to be doing that in a few minutes, in a little bit, as we get into some thinking exercises. So hopefully you've got your thinking hat on. So the question today to start things off is, why bother asking for more referrals unless you have a why? Why do you want more referrals? Why don't you pop into the chat why you want more referrals? More business, more clients, more money, more opportunities to help people. I want more clients, money to grow my business. Yeah, you guys get it. You guys get it.
No, I might challenge Tom. Could we go a little bit deeper? Like, what would more business mean?
Well, I was going to touch on the fact that when Tiffany teaches people about how to generate more referrals for their business, she always starts out with a vision conversation, okay? She really wants to make sure that if you're participating in educational opportunities with her, that you have a clear vision for your business, because that clear vision for your business should inspire you, should motivate you, should create hope in your business and your life. And that motivation is what drives you, in my mind, to want more referrals. Because I don't know about you, but many people we work with want an amazing business and a spectacular life. So now that we've got the introduction out of the way here, let me introduce you all to Tiffany. She has been training referral-based marketing skills since 2005. I don't know, that's a lot of years, 2005. Full-time, double-time some weeks. She does a fantastic job of it. She's really inspired by the people she works with, obviously, especially in terms of receiving success stories back of how what they learned in working with her dramatically shifted the business of their life, or allowed them to focus more on their business and their life. I know when I was living in Massachusetts, Steve, my definition of networking was running around like a chicken with my head cut off, saying hello to as many people as I could. But my challenge was I didn't get too many too much business out of that because I did not understand the VCP process. But anyway, Tiffanie right now lives in Tampa, Florida, which you wouldn't think ice skating is a big thing down here in Tampa, Florida, but Tiffanie lives about 15 minutes from the rink that the Tampa Bay Lightning practice at, and they offer free skate and skating lessons. And so she loves to pop to the rink once a week or so and do some ice skating. She also has a passion for socks. Right behind her is one of her 3 books that she's written, Socks to Your Success, branding, finding ways to brand your business. She and her husband enjoy visiting breweries. And to turn things over to Tiffanie, I want to say, just get ready for some epiphanies, which are epiphanies from Tiffanie. Tiffanie?
Thank you so much, Tom. So as we're here talking about referrals, we've probably heard many times in BNI, a good referral is for me, a good referral is for me. And what is a good referral for me? And that's a question we get asked often, though sometimes people are like, anybody, just help refer me. I'm ready to work with anyone you can think of. And here in this area, we have a saying we've coined, be specific to be terrific. The more specific you can be about your referral request, the more likely you are to get it. Now, I want to give an example. This has nothing to do with referrals, but I'm sure many of you can kind of resonate with the idea, has your spouse or somebody in your family ever said you want anything from the store? So I asked my husband, hey, honey, do you want anything from the store? Not that I was going to the store. I do Instacart. I was ordering groceries from the store. And he's like, honey, please, get me a beer. And I'm like, okay, I can totally buy some beer for you. What would you like? And he's like, you know what I like. And I'm like, so here's the thing. My husband, these are all different kinds of beers that he's tried. Like Tom mentioned, we're into the craft breweries. We plan travel, like what are areas that have amazing craft breweries? Not just 1 or 2. We like to see lots and lots of them. And so it's like, oh, I don't know, like there's just too many to choose from. And so I was like, honey, what kind of beer? And finally he's like, all right, just give me a brown ale. I was able to put brown ale into my Instacart, and I'm like, oh, Newcastle is what I'm getting him. And it made it so much easier for me. And the same thing happens, if we're chatting, you're like, hey, Tiffanie, I need a referral. Okay, just refer me to somebody, you're connected to on LinkedIn. So at the time that I took this photo, last year or 2, because I think I'm over 7,000 now, I've got 6,500 people that I'm connected to on LinkedIn. Is that a little bit much for me to go through? However, if you said, hey, Tiffanie, who's the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker? And I was like kind of shocked that I put in butcher, baker, candlestick maker. And I actually did come up with one butcher, 48 different results for a baker, but some of those, that's their last name, Baker, and then a couple for candle at least. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. And it makes more fun for the presentation, because if y'all know me, I like to have fun in everything that I do. But I think it's the power of the specificity. The way the human mind works, we can go from really specific and work our way out, but we can't go from generic and work our way in. And so we really want to paint a picture of exactly whom you're looking for. And so I want to share, this is one of my favorite little cartoons that we utilize a lot in Incentives Ignite Your Business, just because in a couple of minutes, it can really narrow down the focus. So this is from Talia Hargrave on YouTube, Why You Need a Niche. And so we're just going to enjoy our little bears as they talk about that ideal client.
I'm not getting enough clients. I'm going broke.
That sounds frustrating. Can you start by telling me what you do?
I sell a supplement product.
So you sell this product. To whom are you selling it?
That's the best part. This can help anyone.
So your perfect audience is?
Everyone.
There are almost 7 billion people in the world.
It could help them all. I want to reach everyone.
So, your target market is the whole planet.
Yes.
Okay. I think this may be your problem. Most businesses fail because they have no idea of who they are trying to reach.
I know who I'm trying to reach. I'm trying to reach everyone.
Right. And this is where things break down. When you try to be everything to everyone, you end up being nothing to everyone. You can't please everyone. After all, if your target market is everyone, then how can you know where to find them? Or how to word your marketing materials to them? Or where to advertise? Does this make sense?
No,
What?
they are easy to find. They are everywhere. I can advertise anywhere.
I thought you were broke.
I am so broke. I can't even afford a pancake. I am hungry. Will you buy me a pancake?
No. I will not buy you a pancake.
I want a pancake.
This is ridiculous. I will not buy you a pancake. So, you're broke.
Yes,
And your target market is everyone.
yes,
So you can advertising anywhere and everywhere.
yes.
How will you afford that when you can't even afford to buy yourself a pancake?
Oh,
Do you see the problem?
yes. Thank you. I will do all of my marketing word of mouth and grassroots then. I will spend my time instead of my money.
Do you have any idea how much time it would take you to reach 7 billion people?
I don't care. I am on a mission. This is my life's purpose. I will do it.
Even if you only spent 1 minute per person,
I will do it.
that's 7 billion minutes.
I will do it.
That would take you 13,318 years, during which time you would still be broke because you would never sell anyone your product in 1 minute. 13,000 years without even being able to afford a pancake.
Oh,
So do you see why narrowing your target market might be useful and actually save you time and money? By choosing one group to focus on, it will help you spend every penny and every minute on something that is much more likely to get you business.
okay.
Good.
All right. So, what are your thoughts as you were watching this video? I know I saw the stuff was coming across the chats. I know I saw you first, Kathy Boward, because she's done the program with us and I use it. You know, she says the video is a riot. Yes. Laughing through tears right now. Hysterical. This is brilliant. I want a pancake. I'm laughing. Tom Fleming and I, when we first started training the Ignite Your Business program, we actually facilitated it in an IHOP. They had a private room, and so it was like, all right, it must be pancake day. I think what's so funny about this is how true it is. I mean, how many of us have been to a networking event and we were okay? Whether it was us, because I see James is like, yeah, this is so me when I started my career. Or if it was like, we're talking to that person, if we're just like, hey, I can, just work with anybody. Yeah, let's go through it. Nobody comes to mind. And, it's 13,000 billion, whatever years, and you still can't afford a pancake. And so I think that there's huge opportunity for us to be specific, to be terrific. So an example for me. So one of the things that I like to do to grow my business is speaking engagements. Do we think that's specific enough, or could we narrow it down a little bit? I could probably narrow it down a little bit. So I could say networking groups, and there's all kinds of different networking groups. Could I get a little bit more specific? Sure. How about I'd love to work with Chamber of Commerce, or even down to specifically, I want to work with the Greater Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce. Remember, be specific to be terrific. And if some of you are thinking, ooh, that's really narrow, I could say, I'd love an email introduction to Chamber of Commerce's so I did the kind of bigger area and narrowing it down, the Greater Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce, which is ran by President CEO Bob. So I'm really just beginning to focus it down. I remember in my BNI chapter years ago, there was a PNC car insurance agent, and he was really frustrated. He's like, everybody in the group has cars and they have a house. Why are they not referring me? Like, everybody they see could be a client of mine. And I'm like, it's too vague. I'm like, let's do this. What's that dream car? What is the car that you really, really want? And he's like, I want a classic Corvette, but nobody's gonna, know people with classic Corvettes. I'm like, look, let's just see how it goes. So that week in his BNI weekly presentation, he asked for classic Corvette, which resulted in 6 referrals, none of which were classic Corvettes, but he got referred to 3 people with Corvettes, 2 people with classic cars, and 1 I don't remember because I don't really care about cars. But I'm like, all right, look, you got 6 referrals from being specific. You can go from really specific and work your way out. Can't go from really generic and work your way in. In 2007, I think it was a long, long time ago, I was really working heavily in, back in the day, I owned a promotional products company and I liked working with car dealerships. And so for the month of July, I asked all 5 weeks, because it was a 5-week month, I want the Furman dealership on 54. I want the Furman dealership on 54, Furman dealership on 54, Furman dealership on 54, Furman dealership on 54. You get it. And I never, until the end, even when I sold my promotional products business, I never got the Furman dealership on 54. But that July I got referred and became, I had 5 new car dealerships that became clients from being specific. It wasn't the one I was looking for, but was it okay to take the Mini Cooper and the Nissan? Yeah, totally fine. So that's kind of some from me. Tom, I know you have a few examples from some of our Referrals for Life community members. You're muted.
I'm sorry. This whole conversation is just so profound. Yeah, here's a couple of great referral request examples. As I roll through them, think about what are good referral requests for you based upon your target market. And hopefully your target market is not somebody, anybody, and everybody. So we have a client we work with, their target market is female first responders, fire, police, EMT, in the Palm Harbor area. My Boston accent shows when I say Palm Harbor, who does CrossFit. Wow, really specific. A couple's whose child just moved out of the house that loves bike riding and visiting craft breweries. Interesting. A single mom in Tampa that always is declining calls from creditors because she's past due. Yeah, unfortunately, I've known a few people like that. And then here's another referral request: women suffering from infertility that are actively trying to get pregnant. Again, be specific to be terrific. All right. As we roll on here, my question is, what are you thinking about? What I'd like to do is give you about 10 to 15 seconds to just kind of jot a note for yourself in terms of, yeah, what's a good referral request for me? Didn't realize how long 15 seconds of silence was. But in any event, what we'd like you to do right now is put in the chat a good referral for me is. Who knows, there may be someone on this webinar here that can help you. So that's why you want to include your name, your profession, your location, and your contact information. So a good referral for me is, please put your information in the chat. And we'll call up the chat box, read a few. Oh, from John, oops. I can't read who these are from because they're just going too fast. We've got some people with their good content. Oh, they're just too fast.
So Tom, if you like scroll up a little bit,
I got it.
It'll stop it, and then you'll have to scroll down to see the new ones.
I got it. Okay. A business owner who is a triathlete with $1 million plus business. Awesome. A wife who needs the kitchen painted. Great. The safety director at a trucking company, specific trucking company. God, these move fast. But I'm following Tiffany's advice. A good referral for me is someone 65 or older who's going on Medicare and already paying too much for their supplemental insurance. Fantastic. A good referral for me is a small business looking for new uniforms, brand awareness, and increasing sales. Let me just do a laser lightning coaching segment here. Somebody, anybody, and everybody, for people who are business to consumer businesses, is the same as a business to business company industry asking for a referral to a small or medium sized business. Okay, what industry are you looking to be referred into? How many people work at that location? What is the geography of that particular location? Is it a $5 million company, a $1 million company, a $10 million company? These are all the conversations that we have with our clients with respect to helping them refine and define their target market in the spirit of them coming up with fantastic referral requests. So let me minimize this here.
Can I say one more thing, Tom?
Absolutely.
So one thing when you're doing this, a good referral for me is you want to be careful about saying a good referral is somebody that needs my product or service, because what you're doing is you're essentially telling your fellow chapter members, hey, you need to figure out who needs my product or service. And so I really recommend that you think about not what they need, but what that person that would need you would look like. Because I think that too often, here's the thing, too often we think our referral sources, our chapter members know way more than they do. And I think that our goal is kind of like to have this easy button. And so we want to make it super, super easy on our chapter members. So instead of saying, who do you know that needs my product or service, say, who do you know who has a kid under 2 years old that is crying all the time? Or, so, who do you know who would need flowers? Well, what kind of situation would need flowers? Is getting married, or is a funeral, an engagement? So really think about the people, not necessarily what they need from you.
Nice.
Back to you, Tom.
All right. And in alignment with that, how many of you said they're not passing me referrals? They're not passing me referrals. Okay. Note that when I point the finger out at other people, there's 3 fingers pointing back at me. If it is to be, it's up to me. It's my personal responsibility to be accountable to my own success. And those 3 fingers pointing back at me tell me maybe I don't have the level of relationship that I need with my referral partners. Maybe my referral requests are too broad. I'm not being specific to be terrific. And then there's a dozen other reasons. But let's go to the next slide and talk about types of referral requests, because I really think people consistently ask for referrals to prospects, but they're missing the opportunity to request introductions to contact sphere relationships. People who are in a non-competing business with you, non-competing business that serve the exact same target market. And that's why we spend so much time with our clients in helping them understand who their target market is. People tell me, oh, I'm part of the business to business power team in my chapter. That's a terrible power team. Why? Because it is highly likely that although all of those companies focus on serving business to business, that all of those businesses' target market are not the same. Okay, you've got one person that's dealing with real estate firms, one person that's dealing with possibly selling to landscapers. You've got another person who's possibly selling to companies for their office products, and never the twain shall meet. This person's target market is different from this person's, is different from this person. So it's not a power team. It's not a power team. And then if we jump to the next slide, remember, summary of this slide is ask for referrals to prospects and contacts via relationships. Option C, Tiffanie will explain in something she has starting next week, Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I say Eastern Standard Time because I know we've got a lot of people from Central Time Zone and Pacific Time Zone on the call here. The 5-day referral challenge is going to run from 3 to 3:30 each day next week. And I just participated in a couple of them over the last couple months. And they are short half-hour segments where Tiffanie will share a referral tidbit with you, something that will blow your mind. And then she'll give you maybe 20 minutes of homework, 20 minutes of an exercise that's going to dramatically move your business and your referral-based marketing strategy forward. And if you can't make the 3 o'clock time slot next week, every day, or even none of the days, it's okay, because this is all set up on a Facebook group. She delivers the segments through Facebook Live. And so people can go back and watch those. So we've got a little QR code there that you can scan with your phone, open it up to register for, if you want more Tiffanie, which I always want to learn more from Tiffanie. Go ahead and register for that 5-day referral challenge. Quick and dirty. 30 minutes of networking awareness, referral-based marketing awareness, 20 to 30 minutes of homework, and boom, you're developing momentum to generate more referrals. But let's shift gears for a couple of minutes. Push in the clutch. I hope many of you drive a standard vehicle. I just bought a year ago my first automatic transition. Am I happy with it? Yeah, I'm happy with it, but boy, did I love driving a stick. I loved it. So in pushing in the clutch and shifting gears, we're going to turn things over to Miss Tiffanie.
All right, so we've talked a lot about who that ideal client is, and I think that that's such an important component of the idea of always getting a yes or never getting a no. Because a lot of times when it comes to referrals, people, when I ask, hey, how often do you ask for referrals? Most BNI members share once a week during their weekly presentation. And as we explore the conversation around why don't you ask for referrals more? Because let's think about it. If we ask for referrals more often, would we probably get more referrals? Yeah, I think that's pretty simple. And so I know some people are like, well, I don't want to put people on the spot or make people uncomfortable or this, that, or the other. But the majority, the biggest reason people aren't asking for referrals is because they're afraid that they're going to get a no. We have this fear of rejection. And can I go on a quick little Tiffanie tangent here? So Tiffanie tangent, for those of you that don't know me, is when it's not really on the conversation that we're having today, but I think it's worth it. So when we're trying to generate referrals for the people in our chapter, I think because we have such invested in our relationship, because we care about those people so much, when we're trying to generate a referral, if we get a no, we're like heartbroken. So the paradigm shift, the mindset shift that I want you to think about is when I'm trying to refer people in my chapter, yeah, I'm really hopeful, but it's more like I'm asking, I mean, because if we're somewhere and you're like getting a piece of gum, do you ask your neighbor, you know, the people beside you, hey, you want a mint, or hey, you want a gum? And we do, but if they take it, okay. If they don't, okay, that's fine. And so I think when it comes to referral generation for the people inside our chapter, well, yes, I want them to say yes. Don't let it break your heart if you get a no, because if you get a no and you get a no and you get a no, then maybe you stop doing it. And that's not what we want to have happen. Now, if you're trying to refer people in your chapter and you're consistently getting a no, it may be time to schedule a one-to-one with that person to be able to talk about, okay, what am I doing wrong in the referral generation process? To me, one of the easiest ways to refer is using a funneling conversation, and I'll pop the link into the chat box. I have a whole video on YouTube, so for free, talking about funneling conversations. I talk about it in my book. I mean, that costs money, so I'll send you the freebie stuff. Actually, I'll send you the chapter on funneling conversations. If you want to send me an email, I'll put my email in there. I'll send you the chapters from the book with the funneling conversations, as well as a link so you can check it out, because to me, that's one of the best and easiest ways to refer. But so don't get heartbroken if the people that you're trying to refer to the people in your chapter say no. Let's keep working it. If you keep getting the no, talk to them to see what maybe you're saying wrong. But so we don't want to be afraid of the no, but getting back to you asking people, to me, if you're asking for referrals and you get a no, you're doing it wrong. So Tom promised you some Tiffanies. Hopefully you're noting as we go through today what Tom has said, what I have said, because at the end we're going to ask what was kind of like your aha moment. But the Tiffany that we have here is you ask for a referral and you get a no, you're doing it wrong. We're inundated with between 65 and 75,000 pieces of stimuli on a daily basis. As a human, we can process about 2,000 to 2,500 of that. So our brain is constantly looking for things that they don't have to grasp onto. And so if you ask me, you know, do you know anybody that needs, my brain's like, I'm tired. No, like they don't even think about it. So there's a better way to ask that makes the brain think. And Tom's going to tell it to us.
Yeah. And that is, I'm expanding my business and I need your help. Who do you know who? Okay. Before I get into explaining this a little bit more, Tiffany, I'm so disappointed. For years, I could be doing Tom tangents, and I haven't ever used that expression. So Tiffany tangents, I learned something today. I'm going to create some Tom tangents. So the traditional way we ask for referrals, which we've said 5 or 6 times today, is who do you know who needs my product or service? The response you're going to get every time is no one. Okay, it's a close-ended question. This question is an open-ended question. I'm expanding my business and I need your help. Who do you know who? Remember, Tiffany just said, when she asked business professionals, how often do they ask for referrals? They say once a week. They say once a week. Okay. Here's a strategy that I put in place years ago when we weren't virtual. Okay. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd put 10 pennies in my left pocket. And each time through the day that I would ask for referrals, I would take a penny out of my left pocket and I'd put it in my right pocket. And at the end of the day, I'd pull those pennies out and I would say, I only asked for referrals twice today. I need to up my game. I need to up my game. Okay. Now that we're in a virtual world, most of you don't use a phone like this anymore. Okay. But I do. All right. I'm old school. And on the back of my handset, historically, I've had a little sticky note that says, before I let you go, I'm expanding my business and I need your help. Who do you know who? So that way, every time I picked up the phone to answer a call, I'd see that message for myself. I'd have my conversation and I'd say to that person, before I let you go, I'm expanding my business. I need your help. Who do you know who? And then that's where all of the conversation that we had earlier today about being specific with your referral request comes into play. One caveat I want to share with you. You've got to be conscious and aware of where your relationship is with respect to the VCP process when asking for referrals. If we're meeting for the first time, I'm probably not going to ask you for referrals because we're in early visibility, okay? I may not even ask you for referrals until we're in late credibility, okay? But I think early visibility is a no-no. Late visibility is kind of a gut feel. Early credibility is a gut feel. How's this relationship going? Are we building a knowing, liking, and trusting? And then yes, if you have a knowing, liking, and trusting, consistently ask those relationships for referrals. So remember all of this with the VCP process in the back of your mind. Ms. Tiffany?
All right, so I've got some links that I just put for y'all into the chat box. One other way that I want to use this is social media. I think social media is an opportunity for us to work our network. And so Wes did this a couple of years ago, and he went out there and he said, I'm expanding my business and I need your help. Who do you know who owns a gym?
He put this in Facebook?
He did this in Facebook.
Oh, cool.
He did this in Facebook and he got 37 comments, which resulted in 5 new clients. 5 new clients from one comment on social media. I'm sorry, one post on social media. Now, how are we on time, Steve? I want to make sure we're
12:34.
You're still muted. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I have a dog here that's running
Oh,
around.
you're fine.
Yeah, we've got, let's do maybe 10 more minutes. And
Okay,
then do
perfect.
Q&A after that.
Perfect. Okay. So here's the thing with this post. When Wes puts this out there, when you put this out there, which we're going to do in a moment, what we really want to make sure that we're doing is not, when people comment, you reaching out to the person, so let's say I put this post, I'm expanding my business. Steve comments, you need to talk to Tom, and he tagged Tom. I don't want to reach out to Tom. What I want to do is I want to reach out to Steve and say, hey, Steve, I saw you mention Tom. Can you tell me about your relationship with Tom? Tell me what all's going on. How do you know him? And so I want to talk to Steve. And then I want to share with Steve how I prefer to be referred. So on my YouTube channel, I've got a video, how do you prefer to be referred? 10 shades of a referral. And it talks about the different ways. And so a couple examples could be, do I prefer that Steve creates an email introduction on my behalf? Do I prefer if Steve would set up a Zoom where it's Steve, Tom, and myself? So like, I want to talk with Steve about how I want him to refer me to Tom. That way we can take it, there's nothing wrong with like, let me get a temperature 1 for my BNI referral, but I like 5s way better. So I'm going to see, if he can refer me the right way. And so then that way we're still working the referral process. I'm not going to go after Tom because I haven't been introduced to him, but I'm going to talk to the people that are in my network and say, hey, can you help create that referral relationship? So here's my challenge to you right now. You'll find I am tenacious in wanting people to have success. And I know sometimes that to-do list cannot get done. So I'm ecstatic that we have the time. Because what I want you to do right now is to go to your smart device or on your computer, go to Facebook, go to LinkedIn, go to Instagram. If you do TikTok, so I finally signed up for TikTok, though I follow this one guy from Florida who's hilarious. His name's like OMG, I am Wick. And he like makes fun of these Florida people. It's like he did a PSA for Florida folks. He's like, when you move to Florida, if you're waiting for fall, there is no fall. Stop waiting. You have summer. You have summer junior. Then you're going to have like a week of winter, and then you're back to summer junior and back to the summer. You're not getting any fall if you live in Florida. Tom, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. Like we lose the leaves on our trees in February because growing season is getting ready to start again. We don't lose them in
March
fall because it's cold. But so if you do that, the reason I said this, tangent, not Tiffany tangent, just tangent, is if you do this on TikTok, I want you to let me know because you will be the second person I follow and make me actually go to TikTok for business reasons. But what I want you to do right now is go to Facebook, go to LinkedIn, go to Instagram, go to TikTok, go wherever you're playing at and post, I'm expanding my business and I need your help. Who do you know who? And I'm okay if you want to tag me at Tiffanie Kellog, or if you want to do that in the comments. I'm that on pretty much every social media platform I'm on. You can do hashtag referral. You can do hashtag BNI. We want you to do this and do this now. As you're doing this, go ahead, Tom.
You're likely to create results. Yeah, that's what this is all about.
Yeah. I mean, how many of you, if we were able to get one new client, totally makes it worth the 45 minutes or hour that you're spending here with Tom, myself, and Steve today? And if you got 2 or 3, I mean, my gosh, there's huge opportunity. I think sometimes it's about being simple and making it easy. Steve, I love your comment. I'm calling spring and fall winter junior here in Massachusetts. Yeah, totally get it. I was talking to somebody the other day and they're like, they can't wait for snow. And I'm like, yeah, I live in Florida, no snow. So I do recommend y'all posting this. Sometimes people are like, oh, I don't know. I don't want to do this. Why? Really? Why are we hesitating? Whether this is asking one-on-one, whether this is asking in our one-to-ones, when we're asking at a networking event, asking on social media, if we want more referrals and we're asking for referrals, that's going to definitely help. Now, a whole nother flip side of the conversation is if you want to ask for referrals, give more referrals. We'll talk more about that in the 5-day challenge. 5-day referral challenge next week. We want to give to get, givers gain. I don't know how many of you have done your profitability goals, where you figure out what you give in BNI and what you get. That is a powerful thing to do. So you have your giving plan, so you have control over that. Tom, anything else you want to add on this part of our conversation?
I'm ready to rock into some questions and answers and create some clarity in people's minds so they can take action and most importantly, get results.
All right, cool. So what I want to do before we come to our Q&A, because I know some of you will have to drop off, but what I would love to have in the chat box is what were your Tiffany's, or what were your, Tom, what were your what?
I don't know.
You forgot? You just said, oh, I've got my Tom.
Tangents?
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was something else. Okay. So what were your aha moments? What did you get from Tom or I? What are the things that you're putting? To-do lists like doesn't always get done. So what's going on your will do list? Hopefully we've already checked one thing off the will do list with you posting on social media. So do me a favor, pop into the chat box, what's on your ahas and your to-dos or your will do's for this conversation. Because if we don't do anything with what we just learned, guess what? Doesn't do us any good. Knowledge doesn't do us any good if we're not doing something with it. So Susan's shared, learning that what we might consider specific might not be as specific as it could. Philip, be bold and ask for larger audience. Yay. And post this on social media. Shauna, love asking who do you know who. Jessica from 212 said, you're awesome, Tom. So that's one of the chapters Tom manages in Gainesville. Naomi says, be specific to be terrific. Glenn, use social media to help build my business. Jacob says, I appreciate the simplicity and the directness. You'll get that pretty much from Tom and I. We're not a lot of fluff, are we, Tom?
No, pretty straightforward, right between the eyes. Yes. We do have some questions here if you're ready, Miss Tiffany.
Yep. So I just throw this back up for Sean, and then I'm going to shut the PowerPoints down in just a moment. Go ahead, Tom.
Okay, so Craig asks, is there a link to the Talking Bear video, which is the pancake video?
Yes.
I don't know if you're open to putting that in the chat. Claudia McDermott, who is an executive director up north, I believe in New York or New Jersey, asks, how can I make next week's 5-day referral challenge available to some of our members? And I love that she puts some of our members, to promote something, to 500 people, you're not going to get a lot of traction. To pick 20 people and contact them and say, hey man, this would be good for you. I think that makes them feel special and that they want to take action as a result. Claudia, maybe you can pop your email address into the chat, or Tiffany, remind us of your email address and Claudia can email you.
So I just put the link for where people can sign up in the chat, and I'm putting my email address in there again as I go to find the Target Market Bear video.
Cool. Mr. Dennis Charles asks, would you focus on geography when being specific when you offer services that can be accessed from all over the world? I would recommend that. And the reason for that is that it gives you a target market. Here's the way I explain it, is if you go fishing and you just go out into the ocean and you cast out there, okay, chances are you're not going to catch anything, okay? And that's what people get when they ask for somebody, anybody, or everybody, or small to medium-sized business. They get nothing. But when you know where the fish hang out, okay, when you know where your target market hangs out, that's when you're going to catch fish. In that bay, in that area of the bay, in that lagoon, and you're just going to pick them out of the water, okay? That's the power of being specific with your target market, which geography absolutely can be an aspect of that. James Young asks, what is the VCP process? VCP process was created by Dr. Meisner, and it's the relationship development process that really applies to business relationships and personal relationships. First, we gain visibility. Hi, how are you? My name's Tom. I'm a trainer, coach, mentor, consultant. Okay, you are. Okay, we're in visibility. C, credibility. Okay, C, credibility. We're beginning to have a little bit of knowing and liking of each other. Okay, P, profitability. Okay, that's when we're in a mutually beneficial, reciprocal relationship, mutually giving back and forth to one another. All right, so visibility, credibility, profitability. Okay, which is why, by the way, I don't know, Steve, if we've done an okay job, maybe Steve will invite us back. It's why you want to have 1 one-to-one with somebody, 2 one-to-ones with someone, 3 one-to-ones with someone who you feel has potential to bring a lot to the table to support you, and vice versa, givers gain. You're likely not going to drive a relationship from visibility, credibility, and profitability through one-to-one. Okay, back to questions here.
You know, I will tell you, we have done 2 webinars on VCP, and everybody's always fascinated, and they always feel like they've never heard of it before. And those who have heard of it kind of have it a little bit wrong because I use that formula thing that's not supposed to happen. So yeah, I'd love to have you guys back on, and we'll do VCP.
Let me just give you a quick tidbit. Most people work the model backwards, okay? They say, I'm not getting any results from my current network, so I'm going to go out and I'm going to create more visibility. No, don't do that. Look at what you feel are your profitable relationships and squeeze the sponge and give more to those relationships, give more to those relationships, get more from those relationships. Then go back to your credible relationships. Then and only then go back to your visible relationships, okay? Which is why it's very important for you to look at your chapter roster and VCP your database, VCP your chapter roster. Who's in my contact sphere? Who's in my power team? I better be in profitability or working towards profitability with those people. And if not, you want to invest in those relationships. And when they're bearing fruit, that's when you go and you move some credible relationships to profitable relationships. I'm not seeing a lot of other questions here. I think we have likely overwhelmed people here a little bit, which I hope is not the case. People do describe experiencing Tom and Tiffany as a little bit of drinking from a fire hose, but our intention is to give you a few very specific nuggets that you can take immediate action on with not a lot of effort that creates profound results.
All right.
Tess DiMatteo says, I'm sorry if I butchered that. I'm new to BNI and I'm just starting to listen to various BNI trainings. This has been great. Thank you. Thank you, Tess.